Hello everybody, welcome back to Walker Productions. If my voice sounds weird, I just woke up and I'm Michael Lance, and today we're going over part 5 of the Dragon Ball Z End of Days series, where we now will see the ultimate result of the truth Krillin revealed to them, with everyone turning into a horseman and Vegeta and Lucifer's fight against Omni Angel Zeno. This one's a big one, so I hope you enjoy. This is part 5 of Dragon Ball Z End of Days, the semi-finale. There's another one after this, but still. We open with Vegeta and Lucifer's fusion at full power, with them relishing the truth, proclaiming that only Vegeta can be Lucifer's vessel. As God is one with everything, they are one with the universe he resides over, and will wipe them away from this all. Vegeta is the only person that could actually bring out Lucifer's 100% power, even beyond what he could in his original angelic body. Zeno, the Omni Angel, is undeterred by this new godly merger, but is actually sad he must defeat his brother in such a way. Zeno and Lucifer race in clashing fists together as we see a flashback appear out of the blinding light. We see Lucifer on the far corners of heaven, aka the God Mind, and he's younger and crying profusely. Zeno, his littlest brother, comes to find him, a much younger Zeno, but you can't tell due to his child appearance, the only difference being his stubby little wings. Anyway, Zeno comforts his brother Lucifer and asks him why he's crying. Lucifer wipes his tears and tells him he's not. Then, realizing he can't tell a lie, Lucifer reveals that he's a little hurt that Father, God, would pick someone over him to be the Omnisum. He's the first of all creation, the most beautiful, the most resounding, the most powerful apart from God. What could anyone else have to offer? Zeno says maybe it's because they have a different heart than his. Lucifer, at first offended by this comment, realizes his anger towards his little brother, and then sits and realizes the wisdom of his words. Lucifer then asks Zeno if he ever thinks Father could be wrong or selfish. Zeno says that he believes in the plan and that everything will work out. Besides, God just wants them to be closer. That's why he invented heaven for everyone. Lucifer then asks, what if there was something outside of his creation? What would happen to them? Zeno says the plan would account for that. He just had to believe with all his angelic heart. Lucifer then looks at him and smiles, asking who he thinks will be the new Omnisun. Zeno says he doesn't know, but he's happy whoever it will be, because in this way they will be saving Earth. Lucifer questions if destroying everything is really the answer. I mean, isn't there a glory to existence greater than what they may know? Greater than God? Zeno says maybe, but he doesn't know. The only one who does know is God. Lucifer stops and says, is that so? Shortly before Zeno, his little baby brother, smiles and wishes to see his morning star fire. And so Lucifer throws a display for his youngest brother, as we see As we see young Zeno smile, the memory is broken by Lucifer punching straight through Zeno and into his face, sending him rocketing through plants and stars. Shortly before, they race back in, clashing and kicking and punching, with Vegeta's body at Super Saiyan 3 bloodlust and angelic powers embedded, as they continue exchanging blows until planets are being blown apart left and right. Lucifer then gets the upper hand on Zeno by opening a rift around his sibling, then punching them both to it, sending them to the Kai's world, and they keep on fighting, going back and forth as they continue their brotherly bloodshed. Meanwhile, in hell, Krillin spins his daggers and chains and keeps training with Piccolo, as Piccolo is starting to become the horseman of war. Trunks is already the horseman of conquest, since he died before everyone has been training for thousands of years. He's now training Goku to become the horseman of famine as everyone else, including Gohan, who is to become death, stands by and watches, not yet a horseman. Anyways, Krillin is going back and forth with Piccolo beating the ever-living crap out of him, as Piccolo isn't embracing what he's truly meant to be. Piccolo needs to look back, look inside, and bring out the savage king who caused war and destruction through the world. They need King Piccolo's war to be re-emerged on a grander scale. Piccolo then stops and looks deep within. He sees Kami, Nail, and King Piccolo standing beside him, all metaphysically within his head. Piccolo looks at each of them as they all represent an aspect of him. Nail, a symbol of the race Piccolo comes from, his origins. Kami, a representation of his origins. Kami, a representation of how he played hero and god to the people of Earth at certain points in time. However, King Piccolo has never been tapped into. Piccolo didn't absorb like in the traditional sense, but he is a part of him, and to become what he must to embrace all sides of himself. As Piccolo opens the door and sees his father, King Piccolo, standing before him, as he becomes one with him, a blinding flash of light, Piccolo, in the real hell, erupts with such power and ferocity that it shakes the very hell itself, with everyone cowering in fear, all except Krillin. Krillin now smirks. Piccolo is now engulfed in a red and white aura, with a yellow tan cape and horned spikes along with armor on his body. As a giant spear appears before him, Krillin kneels down before him in a sign of respect, officially dubbing him the Horseman of War. Trunks, the Horseman of Conquest, compliments Krillin on his great work by training him. Goku then questions why Piccolo's war and he's famine, and why Trunks is conquest. What do all these names have to do with him? Trunks explains. Piccolo is war due to his father raging war across the globe in the early days, and it's a necessity to bring war to bring about a hero that is you, Son Goku. Trunks is conquest due to what they've seen about in the future and in the present. Trunks conquers and overcomes every limit across time. All of it. Trunks tells Goku to observe as Trunks powers up to Super Saiyan 3 in his conquest form. He's conquered over every obstacle and every challenge, and for the first time he conquered becoming a horseman all by himself. As for Goku, he is to become famine because he's starved in both the physical sense of food and in the sense of starved for battle, starved for great odds, starved for a challenge, starved to defeat himself and overcome his every limit. A starvation he cannot do. Due to his Saiyan seemingly having no limits, he will forever be starving for a greater power he may never achieve. Goku then asks, what about Gohan? Why is he to become death? And what does all these names have to do with the bigger picture? Trunks explains that Gohan must be death because he's the cause for the biggest death. Gohan's weakness as a child both killed and saved Goku, who died for him against Raditz. It did again against Cell, where Goku died for him, and almost Trunks. Everyone died on Earth when Gohan couldn't catch a damn earring, and Krillin most recently died due to these odds, due to Gohan, due to him being weak, due to him not being strong enough. As for the bigger pictures, all these represents enemies of God's, the things God himself fights against. He hates it when humans fight and go to war. He hates it where they starve themselves or starve and die on their own. He hates it when they conquer over each other instead of working together. He hates it most of all when they die from that. Goku questions, that's not what everyone else has been preaching. They make God sound like a caring. That makes God sound like a caring guy. How could he hate existence for it? Trunks tells him people can send a message and have it passed around to everyone in the room, and when it gets back to you, it'll be changed and altered. God could be good, but the messengers are making him sound like a total wreck. Trunks then cuts the chit-chat and continues training Goku, as Gohan watches and absorbs what Trunks had just said. Meanwhile, Vegeta and Zeno clash back and forth, with the brothers having wrecked most of the Kai world, and landing back in the normal observable universe. Zeno then grabs Vegeta and is currently Zeno grabs Vegeta and takes him to the atmosphere of heaven, which is currently locked off from everyone due because they're either killed or the rapture is happening. To which they see what it looks like, even as Vegeta / Lucifer's body burns a little, being close to heaven. Zeno shows him the realism of God, or the relishment of God, as we see dozens of vines and tentacles absorbing and controlling bodies, turning them into diamond, and their bodies are all sucked up into a massive white cloud above, in a most horrifying display. Still, their screams fill the soul of Lucifer, and thus Lucifer rejects Zeno's and God's message and continues battling. Lucifer tells Zeno that there is no glory in taking life, that has nowhere to go, and isn't his to take. If it is anyone, it is his. As Zeno punches Vegeta in the gut, he shouts, "Aha!" As Zeno tells him that then he's no better than father by that perception. Lucifer then questions how, with Zeno telling him that Lucifer is directly causing all of this. If he hadn't swore revenge on God, there would be no end of days. If he hadn't created life in the universe that wasn't his, they wouldn't have to die this way. Lucifer roars in anger and asks, "A universe that is not his, you say?" Oh, sorry, I missed a line. Go back. There would be no end of days if he hadn't created life in a universe that wasn't his. They wouldn't have to die this way. Lucifer roars in anger and asks, "A universe that isn't his, you say?" Lucifer then starts powering up and condensing all his energy into his fist. The culmination of all the energy throughout his life into a fine point on his fist, as well as all Vegeta's power ever that he has ever gained, all within this. Lucifer claims that if he hits anyone or anything with this, it will be the equivalent of the Big Bang in the whole another universe, one entirely his own. He'll play God and make as much life within that universe as he wants. Zeno remarks that he destroyed this one. Lucifer scoffs that he's no better than Dad, remember, as Lucifer powers up with the Vegeta inside him saying, "You took my everything, my brother in arms, Kakarot, my Bulma, my baby boy Trunks, everything. Now we're going to take everything from you." As Zeno prepares a technique to try and counter this, as both race in ready to go fist to fist with each other, about to clash, and then we cut away to hell, where Goku is training with Trunks still, and Piccolo has moved on to observe Gohan. As no one can train him, he must embrace death to become the Horseman of Death. Thus, Gohan is meditating. Goku is training, and Trunks urges him to rise and break through. Goku then races his ki to maximum potential with his Super Saiyan 3 hair flying up, and Goku's body getting slimmer and slimmer as it craves more and more power, and the more he uses, the more his body will starve. Goku lowers his ki, lowers it to the point that it hits the negatives, meaning he literally has no ki and is in the negatives, and his body starts to fluster with energy again, remaining in Super Saiyan 3. Goku tells himself that he doesn't crave a fight. He doesn't crave to transform or to get stronger. He just craves beyond. As his transformation takes place, shaking all of hell, Goku's body erupts, getting massively huge, then reverting back into his skinny, bare-boned Goku with Super Saiyan 3-like hair on a horse similar to a demonic dragon, Dragon Ball style, with the flames and horns, with Goku's hair being huge and his body small, with bandages all around his body, especially his stomach. He stands the horseman of famine, as Trunks then looks over at Gohan as the final horseman needs to arrive. As we then look within Gohan, Gohan is in a black void, running from a skeleton on a black robe and carrying a scythe on a carriage. Gohan then keeps running from it, and every time he looks back, he sees a corpse chasing him of a person he's killed. Piccolo, Goku, Chi-Chi, Krillin, all their deaths in some way due to him. What can he do now? keep running, or will he turn around to face the truth? Yes, it is his fault, but he accepts this. He accepts reality. He lets the skeletons and army of corpses consume him whole until he's buried in all the skeletons, as instead of a hellquake, we see the black mist from every dead and living creature all flow into him as he is covered in a black robe in his beyond mystic potential form, with one dark striped line going through Gohan's hair, and Gohan emerges with a scythe appearing in his hand as Goku is given the scale to represent people's worth and values if their worth is consuming. Trunks then Trunk and Trunks draws his blade as Trunks and Krillin puff out their chests proud of what they've done. They've summoned the horsemen of the apocalypse. They're ready. However, as they are ready, a blue light shines through both heaven and hell itself as Lucifer has drawn back the Big Bang Punch, and Zeno has his 8-arm technique with all his holy magic focused into his hands, with full power ready to stop his brother. Zeno sheds a tear and tells his brother that if this is the end, he will miss him. Lucifer and him then race into each other, both willing to destroy everything to achieve their goals. As Goku and everyone race onto the dragons as they serve as horses in the story. They all race to stop Lucifer and Zeno before it's too late. However, as they get there, a huge wave of energy washes over everything. As Lucifer and Zeno's fists meet, and a huge universe-ending blast can be felt through, we hear a thundery voice say, "That's enough." As we see everyone turn an eye to a blinding white light before them, Lucifer, Zeno, Goku, Piccolo, Trunks, and Gohan all look on in the holiness as God himself is here to stop the madness. And that'll do it for this episode. I did put a lot of work and attention into this. I really hope y'all end up liking this. This is my favorite part today, obviously. I'm really happy with how this came out. And if you liked it, please do leave a like. Share this around with all your friends. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment down below if you're new. If you have an opinion, share. Or what if you'd like me to do, or a question you'd like me to answer, drop them down below. I do write all my scripts myself and voice them myself, obviously. But anyways, guys, please do like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment down below if you're new, and subscribe and keep watching. All right. See y'all later. Have a wonderful day. Happy Thanksgiving.